I have one older bag of mixed veggies. It's from 2019. It's the oldest mixed veggies I've had because we used up some of the older stuff. I mean, we've only been freeze drying for 5.5 years, but we only have about 50 or 60 bags that are even over 5 years old because we use ours more as a pantry as opposed to an emergency food supply. Though it has built up over the time, of course, so we have a good supply. And now we are looking at it more of what should we have set in there, stuff that will last 10 years or more. I mean, not that we could use it for 10 years, but things that will physically last over a period of 10 years before it goes bad. Some of the things that we freeze dry have as much fat as commercially made stuff, and they can nitrogen flush theirs, so theirs are probably going to last longer than mine. Ours seem to be holding up well. We haven't had anything bad that we've opened up when we've gone to use it, and it still surprises me every time when something's sitting on the shelf at room temperature for 5 years and it's good. Anyway, we'll get the one bag out. It's in bin 9F. And I don't know if these are really like the ones that I just freeze dried, but I think they're probably the same thing. They could be a different brand. We'll find out. So now, let's take them up and rehydrate them. Now I'm going to rehydrate some of the mixed vegetables. This isn't the mixed vegetables from that video that I just made. These are from 2019. My plan is to put them small amounts in each of 4 containers and give them different amounts of time so then we can kind of try them. Sometimes people say that their vegetables or their fruits didn't rehydrate well. I think a lot of times it's because they didn't give it enough time. We as home freeze dryers tend to make our pieces of food, like when I'm doing stew, we tend to make the pieces much bigger. So in a commercial one, you might have 1/4-inch pieces so that they'll rehydrate faster. Well, I do mine like 1/2-inch or 3/4-inch pieces because I like the bigger chunks. Well, that's going to take a lot longer to rehydrate. So we'll get some in here and get them started. So I'm going to cut the bag off real high instead of using the tear strip in case I have a bunch left over that I want to rebag. Then I've got room for a couple more seals here. So this was from 2019, let's see, in November of 2019. Okay, so I think that's the same kind of mixed vegetables as hers. I'll have to go look at the video. Oh, I should probably, well, I'm not going to worry about weighing them. I'm just going to pour some into each one, about up to the little ridge. Okay, a little bit more here. Let me grab another one. Okay, I'm going to pour boiling water over them, well, one at a time, and then put them in a Ziploc, suck out some of the air to help hold them down into the water. Of course, and probably ideally would be, or ideal would just be to pour the water in here and zipper it shut. But it doesn't make for a very visual video. I've got a measuring cup full of boiling water. I'll fill this one up. Okay. And I'll go ahead and start that timer. And I'll slide this into there. Oh, I should have this on pot holders or something. Okay, I'm going to suck out the extra air. Okay. I'll just go ahead and cover this each time just to help keep it warm, and we'll be back when it's close to, I think I'll go 15 minutes at a time. So 15. Okay, so let's start the next one. So that looks full enough, and we'll start this second one. Let's see if I can get that one in there. Okay, well, we'll come back in another 15 minutes. Boy, I can feel the warmth of these two right through 4 layers of towel. That would have lost a lot more heat. Okay, we'll get this one going. Oh, make sure we have this in the right one. And we'll be back for the next one. Okay, so this one's been in here for 45 minutes so far. Let's get this one started. Okay, well, let's get this last one. So this one's been in there for an hour already, and this one's just started. All right, so this is an hour later, all the way to now. I can see even through the plastic, the colors are more solid. These are still kind of pale. Let's go ahead and check one out. Oh, they really puffed up, some of them, because now it's pretty full all the way to the top. Okay. Okay, so that's cooled down quite a bit, which isn't surprising. It's been sitting out for an hour. Of course it's going to cool down, but that's not too bad still. And I know from experience, if I just refrigerate these overnight now, covered, they get better and better. They get more and more like how they first arrived. Oh, the peas are tender, that's good. Carrots can be kind of spongy if you don't give them enough time. Let's check that. That's a good carrot, not spongy at all. It's soft, which isn't surprising. It's a small frozen carrot that would have been blanched before I got it, when it was just in the bag. And now it's been reheated with boiling water, which would have stayed hot enough to have cooked it pretty well. Let's check a bean. Excellent. So definitely after an hour it's fine. Let's go to the one, this has been just about 19 minutes, almost 20 minutes. So by comparison, that's still a little bit squishier at this point for the peas. The carrot's really good already. Most freeze-dried things that you get in commercially made hiking meal type of thing, like Mountain House and those kind of things, generally they have smaller pieces because they rehydrate quicker. Yeah, the beans here are definitely better still. They're already. So you can see this has a little bit more pale color. That's a deeper green. That's because this still needs more water in it. It's looking real good though. Sucking out some of the air with the straw. I end up with water in the bag each time. So I got to kind of pour that out. All right, so this is just 5-6 minutes now. And of course, this is the only one that's real hot still. 145, 146. Yeah, so this is still quite toasty. That's nice. 115. So obviously, the longer they've been sitting out, the colder they are. If you put this in a small pot on the stove, or if you're putting it in stew, you're going to be heating it that whole time, and it's going to be better. And you can see what a deep color all the components are there, and a little bit less here, and less. Oh, let's see if we can find a one of the lima beans. The lima beans tend to, in my experience, the lima beans tend to need even more time to rehydrate. That was pretty good. Definitely drier and drier. Yeah, so the lima beans are the ones that need the most time. They're definitely the driest, but I find lima beans to be dry anyway. So let's see how that goes. Okay, to me, I would say I would want them to have much more time. An hour is definitely better than even the 45-minute one. More time, more better. With that being said, this one's only about 24 minutes. They're okay, but the vegetables are still kind of soft and spongy. They haven't had enough time for some of the bigger pieces to really pull in the water. give them more time. All in all though, all of them are acceptable. So this one's only about 9-10 minutes. And if you were hungry, there's nothing wrong with this one even. These carrots have some firmness to them, some crunch to them. These are little carrot sponges still. So there's quite a difference between the 10 minutes and the hour and 10 minutes. Yeah, even hitting them with the spoon, I can feel a difference. Much better resistance on these. I think the carrots needed at least the hour. So now these are at 56 minutes. I'm going to go with, in general, with just one heat without being able to add additional heat, I would go with an hour minimum, especially with the carrots and the lima beans. They're all edible. There's nothing wrong with this. Flavor's good. It's just that the texture is not as good as the rest of them. They definitely get better over time. Okay, I'm gonna go microwave that a bit and see what that does. Okay, so I just microwaved that for about 35 seconds. The carrots are much better now after giving them additional heat. More time is better, and more heat helps too on those. So the point is that giving them a little bit more time will make them better, and refrigerating them overnight in the water really does a great job. Of course, it takes overnight, whereas this doesn't. These are still softer. These are more like fresh. These are somewhere in between.
Yeehaw!
I'll let these sit in the refrigerator. Well, let them cool first. Cover them, let them sit in the fridge, and they'll just get better as I snack on them over the next day or so. Mixed vegetables work great. Again, thanks for watching, and see you on the next one. Here we go the next day, and they're absolutely beautiful. And I don't think you could tell the difference between these and after they'd come out of the bag and just been reheated. So freeze drying them did not bother them at all. They came out quite nice. It's marvelous how well they come back if you give them the time. Wow. That's beautiful.